free with payday. Take a nice deep breath with me and watch this. Breathe in. All right, Katie Churchill here, Tuesday, September 7th, 2010. And I know, a little different than some of my past videos. Here I am, totally all pieced out, completely pieced out. But I wanted to share with you just this incredible, some of these realizations and journeys I just had as I did an EFT session with myself. If you don't know EFT, it's where you press on points, shiatsu points, meridians in your body, and you start to speak things like, even though I have blamed people in the past, I love, and then on your side, I love and approve of myself. And I started with just being honest with some of my feelings, rather than trying to, have you ever tried to force gratitude? Look at that nice little hair, trendy little wild hair. Have you ever tried to force gratitude and it doesn't seem to work? When people say fake it till you make it, it's like, for me, you can kind of psych yourself out, but it's almost like being drunk. You know, when you're drunk, you think you're confident, but are you? There's a substance that made you there, you know? So, and I don't know, we can't really be drunk all day, can we? It's got some side effects. And so I kind of just started with how I was feeling, you know, even though I feel disbelief, I love and approve of myself, even though all the things that could potentially make me feel bad or feel down, or all of my stories or things that I was feeling, I expressed them honestly and openly. And what was amazing was when I started to do that, instead of being like, I am grateful, and then even trying to be like, I am grateful, you know, like smile, just smile, fake it, I am grateful. Can't you tell though that I really don't feel that? You know, that kind of thing. As soon as I became honest with the things that I was feeling, or, you know, even though in the past, because now can be the moment of transformation, even though in the past could have been 5 seconds ago, I'm feeling. And as soon as I did that, I felt that peace come back to me. I felt that love come back to me. I felt that just that inner joy, that inner knowing come back to me. And I kind of, you know, there was even one I did that was like, even though I feel stupid doing this, I love it, you know what I mean? Even though I don't even believe this is gonna work, because I kind of got to this place in my life where I had kind of explored spirituality to a point where, you know, it was everything's a belief. That was kind of my belief, everything's a belief. And everything is kind of nothingness. And it wasn't serving me very well. And for some people, it's interesting to me that some beliefs that serve me don't serve you. And some beliefs that serve other people don't serve me. And so that one has been one that has not quite kept me on course. It kind of pulled me out into a very strange, you know, Course in Miracles, the universe is illusionary, that kind of sort of thing did not make me motivated to want to be a good human here. It did not make me motivated to want to do practically anything, because it's all nothingness, it's all meaningless. So, but I'm glad that I explored that space, because everything's about the experience that we choose to experience. And so I'm glad. I look back at that, and I'm not bitter, I'm happy for it. I really am. It gives me another perspective. It gave me another lens of reality to look through. So what I want to share is that in this video is that EFT, wow, it brought me home. And it wasn't just EFT. It was, I realized that when I'm not putting things in my mind my mind goes off and like runs itself like a child. I mean, I had this vision in kind of this meditation and prayer that I was doing that it's kind of like a puppy, you know, that you don't train, and the puppy just comes and shits and pees all over your house, and you have to train the puppy. You have to be like, come here, puppy, no, puppy, no, and you know, come on, and bring him outside, let him do his business outside your mind, and then reward it, and still accept it. You know, accept, okay, that it's a puppy. It's, you know, it made a mistake. It's gonna poop in the house, and sometimes we go back to that puppy thing. You know, no matter how many times we learn something, we go back to being a puppy and pooping in our own mind and peeing in our own mind and just loving and accepting that part of ourselves. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. This is what you need to be doing. Go outside. Good for you. And I know that's kind of a strange analogy, but that's the one that was given to me. That was kind of the visual that I was shown. But it was that. So it was realizing that I needed to be plugging some new information into my mind. It wasn't that I was necessarily plugging negative, because I was plugging in negative, neutral, and positive information. It was that it wasn't so directed. It wasn't so purposeful. It wasn't. It was kind of more sporadic, you know, information where, or it would be like a little bit of this belief and a little bit of that belief, and then they would clash, and it would not really create anything in my reality. It would kind of just keep me stuck, kind of keep me where I was. And I've kind of realized that, you know, when you put in one thing and then you put in another thing that conflicts, it creates that stuck. So if you feel stuck, you might want to figure out what two opposing things you're putting in that are keeping you, that are bouncing back and forth, keeping you from moving forward, and clear that up. Clear that up. So I started to put in. So number one, we decided to go on a cleanse because everybody, tons of studies and research have shown that cleanses and fasting, you know, brings you closer to God. It brings you closer to clarity and peace and a mercy and gratefulness for what you do have, and humbleness. It's a great humbling tool, and helps release emotion, because when your body's not spending all this energy digesting your food, it can spend energy doing the other things that your body needs, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, physically, financially, all of those areas, relationally. And so did a cleanse and then started plugging in. Jason and I decided we need to start plugging some better stuff in our head, because our mind is like turned into a puppy again, man. It is shitting and pissing on our carpets of our mind, and it is time to stop. Let's plug some good stuff in. So we started putting in some personal development. And I think sometimes spiritual people sometimes get away from personal development. They maybe think that spirituality is like the next level of personal development, that you don't need personal development. But anytime you get really off track, sometimes it's good to just go back to what you know has worked in the past, which for me was, you know, plugging back into the Bible a little bit, remembering how successful I was when I was a very committed Christian, remembering how much power I had almost accidentally. I didn't realize the reason I had so much power was because I was completely immersed in an idea. I'm going to say that again. The reason I had success as a Christian and in the power that I had was because I was completely immersed in an idea. In other words, I was reading it every day. I was listening to it in music, listening to it in audiobooks, going and getting in events and going to church and going to things where I was surrounded by other people that were in this belief. So I was so saturated that it became easy to live that belief and live that conviction. And to do whatever, you know, I was thinking at the time. But I knew that, of course, there's a lot of truth, a lot of beauty in Christianity, a lot of beauty in Emmanuel, in Yesu, in Jesus. So I've been listening to some of my worship music, and that in the past I had an anchored association, emotion that this is going to make me feel good, and so I've been listening to that and just listening to some of that. Got into looking up a couple verses that I had remembered, you know, be strong and courageous in the Lord, and for I know the plans I have for you, some of those famous verses, just repeating that to myself, and and then getting into, you know, Tony Robbins and Danny Johnson and Paul McKenna and just all sorts of different trainers to come in and kind of hit my stinking reset on the mindset to get it kind of back in order. And